Welcome! ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 20th of December. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by our title sponsor, everything ZASLOW Show 2.0. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. If you're involved in any kind of an accident, slip and fall, hit and run, motorcycle, boating, first you call 911, then you get Anidjar and Levine accident attorneys on the phone. Let them put their skills to work and get you the compensation you deserve. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. We're right smack in the middle of the week. We're approaching week 16 in the National Football League, which comes the biggest game of the season for your favorite little football team, the Miami Dolphins. We got the Heat back in action tonight. Panthers are back in action tomorrow night. They are finally back home. There's a lot going on. All the major sports are in action. College football playoffs are right around the corner. And BetOnline is your number one destination for all your sports wagering info, including news for pro football, the NBA, upcoming fights, NHL games. Head to the website today to get into the action and see all the updated odds for the week. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Really glad to have you guys here with us today. And of course, you could also check out the show, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. Make sure you smash the like button and the notification button. So this way, when we do the live streams of It's Still Real to Me, my wrestling podcast, you want to make sure that you could tune in live when we're doing that. So, we got a bunch of things to get to today. We're going to talk about the Heat, who are back in action tonight. We'll do a little football. It's Wednesday, which means we tell you which fan bases are having good times and which are having hard times, getting ready for the weekend. And last night, big night in the NBA. We'll get to that in a moment. Couple things to start out with first. Hosted on ESPN Radio last night. Filled in on Amber and Ian. Hosted with my homegirl, Amber Wilson. Had a great time. Really fun. I look forward to it every week when I get the opportunity to sit in with her. So if you hung out with us last night, I really appreciate that. Make sure you listen to her every evening, 7 to 10 p.m. on ESPN Radio. And look, you know, the best case scenario is we get some extra listeners to ZASLOW Show 2.0 from people finding me on ESPN Radio. Maybe didn't know me before. You're learning that I have a podcast. Amber does it. I don't plug it. I feel weird doing that. I don't want to plug my own stuff when I'm working for ESPN. But Amber does a really good job plugging. She could do it. I mean, there are no repercussions for her. She can do whatever ever she wants. I'm more or less on best behavior. I want to make sure I'm there to do a job. They allow me to bring my personality. I feel like I sound a lot different than everyone else who was on ESPN Radio, and I'm grateful that they allow me to bring, you know, a lot of what I do here onto ESPN Radio. But at the same time, I don't want to come off like I'm there to promote my stuff. So I don't promote ZASLOW Show 2.0 when I'm on ESPN Radio, but Amber does a really great job of mentioning it throughout the show. So hopefully we get some new listeners. And if we do, and if you're one of those, I love you long time. All right, so thanks a lot. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment. You do all that fun stuff. It's great for the algorithm. I don't know how the algorithm works. I know that it helps me get all the monies, and then everybody is happy. So thanks to everyone who hung out with us last night. And of course, I sent out a link, excuse me, on all my socials with a link to the show from last night. So if you want to listen to me on a national level, you could check that out. If you want to hear, you know, Amber and ZASLOW, that's Amber and ZASLOW. That's not ZASLOW and Amber. If you want to hear me with Amber again, that's a great opportunity. You can go back and listen to last night's show. 3 hours. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and like I said, highlight of my week. So thanks to anyone who hung out with us. Now, you guys know I love movies. This is a big movie week. This weekend, you know, winter break starts for everyone. My older son, Corey, has already started winter break. He's done with midterms, high school, so he's off. He goes to private school. He goes to Posnack. And my younger son, Jordan, he's done with the rest of Broward County, after this Friday. So we have vacation coming up for the kids. You guys know we're a skiing family now. We're going back to Park City over winter break, so I'm super pumped about that. But the point is, the kids are going to have break coming up. And this weekend, great movies coming out. Gotta see Aquaman 2. That's this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I have low expectations for Aquaman 2. But I have super high expectations. The Iron Claw, about the famous wrestling Von Erich family. And I am so excited for this movie. I'm also a little bit scared because I know it's going to crush me. It's a very tragic story, and it's going to be crushing. So I'm trying to go. I think I'm going to go see it tomorrow afternoon. You know, movies come out the day before in the afternoon now. So I plan on seeing The Iron Claw tomorrow afternoon, and I'll be able to tell you guys about it on Friday. It looks so awesome. So that's what we got coming up as far as going to the movies this weekend. But you guys also know I like movies like this, right? On Netflix, there's a new movie that just came out with Mahershala Ali and Julia Roberts, who, even at her age, Julia Roberts, I mean, she's got to be like 60, right? She's probably 60, no? I mean, Pretty Woman was late 80s, and that's 35 years ago. She's probably 60. She looks amazing. Such a beautiful smile, that Julia Roberts. Anyway, Mahershala Ali, Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, this new movie on Netflix called Leave the World Behind. It's one of those like apocalyptic type thriller kind of deals. And there's a mystery as to what's really happening. You know, you see in the trailer, something weird is happening with the world, and like Mahershala Ali shows up to their house and says, "This is our home." And they're like, "What? What are you talking about? We're here. This is our home." I love movies like that where there's this mystery, you know? And whether or not the movie's actually going to be good, and I think there have been mixed reactions to this film, I gotta see it. I have to know, why are they showing up to the home claiming it's their home? What and what's happening in the world? There's something weird happening, you know? I have to see this movie. I have to know. I have to find out what's going on. And you know I get like that with movies, right? Like it was the same way for me with the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old, right? Where I was out on M. Night Shyamalan. He had great movies at the start. You know, The Sixth Sense, Signs. I love those two movies. And then you came out with some bullshit like The Village and The Happening and Lady in the Water. These are the worst movies of all time. And then he did, what was it called? Split. But I don't think everyone knew that it was him. I think they like took his name out of the title because he had such a bad reputation at that point. My wife and I were out on Shyamalan, and this movie Old comes out. You know, when these people, they're vacationing and they're on a beach and they get old. I gotta find out why they're getting old. And so I gave Shyamalan another chance, and I went, and I actually really liked Old. So I'm kind of back in on Shyamalan right now. But and there are other movies like that where I have to find, I need to know. They hook me in with that trailer. I gotta know the mystery. That happened with another Netflix movie, right? Bird Box. Remember Bird Box with Sandra Bullock? And where the people, they're seeing something, and then they kill themselves. And they got a blindfold, you know, if they don't want to see the thing. And I had to see that movie. I gotta know what's going on. And I really like Bird Box. So it turns out I really like the movies that have that mystery to them. There was another one recently, too. Another Shyamalan movie recently. What was that called? Cabin, something in the Cabin. Cabin in the Woods? Is that what it was called? You know, with Dave Bautista. And was there anyone else noteworthy in that movie? I don't think it was anyone we knew, but that was with Dave Bautista. I think it was called Cabin in the Woods. And I really dug that movie. But I had to know, why are they showing up to this cabin? And why do they want to kill these people? You know? So this movie, Leave the World Behind, my son was watching it last night while I was hosting with Amber on ESPN Radio. And I watched like the first 25 minutes with him, and then I had to get my shit together and get ready for the show. It was almost 7 o'clock. I mean, come on. Like, I could turn the microphone on and just do the show, but I'd like to take a little bit of pride in my work. You know what I'm saying? So I watched like the first 25 minutes, and I'm into it. I got to see this movie. if you've seen it, hit me up at ZASLOW Show on Twitter. You let me know if you've seen it. But I got to watch this movie at some point today. I'll update you tomorrow. The big news, though, in the NBA last night. Our Heat were not in action. Our Panthers were not in action. Heat are back in action tonight. They are in Orlando. Orlando's really good. We'll get to them in a moment. Not the match. We'll get to the Heat. Panthers are back in action tomorrow night against the Blues. I think I'm going to go. I'm not trying to go. Everybody knows when I'm trying to go. That means I'm looking for the free tickets. But I think I may go because I want to catch one of these Panther games. And Saturday against Vegas, Saturday afternoon, Stanley Cup Finals rematch tickets are expensive for that one. So I think I may go tomorrow night. The tickets will be pretty good price. And I already told you, you guys know I'm Ticket Ninja, okay? The way to go about Panther tickets, you want to get Upper Deck. Upper Deck is where the value is. First row or 2 or 3. I've learned those are great seats. I didn't know that. So when I go to Panther games now, I like to get front row in the Upper Deck. You can get those seats for $30 a pop. Great deal. So that's my Ticket Ninja advice if you're trying to go to a Panther game. Get one of the first couple rows in the Upper Deck. That's where the value is. All right. Anyway, the big story in the NBA last night, and we led off ESPN Radio, Amber and Ian last night on Ja Morant's return. Ja Morant missed the first 25 games. I mean, he didn't just miss it. It wasn't like he was away, injury. He was suspended. He missed it based on his own doing. He missed it because, as Shannon Sharp said, he's hustling backwards. And he's acting a fool with the guns. And our guns, I don't have any sympathy for Ja Morant because we have a major gun problem in this country. And guns are supposed to be for protection, not for looking cool. There's nothing cool about it. And I know, look, I'm a white guy, I'm a white Jewish guy, and culturally and generationally, I'm a lot different from Ja Morant. But I'm sorry, there's nothing cool. I'm not sorry. There's nothing cool about flashing guns. Guns are for protection. Otherwise, there are people dying senseless deaths out there. Gun violence in this country is out of control. It's not a joke. And so he deserved the 25 games, especially because he essentially spit in the face of the commissioner after the first suspension and then doing it again. So Ja Morant returns last night. And it's funny because we were close to the end of the show and we were giving an update on what's going on with Ja Morant. And he was having a good game. He had like 20 points at this time. It was early in the fourth quarter, like 10 minutes left, and they're down by 13. I'm like, all right, look, they're probably going to lose this game. They're going to drop to 6-20, and their season's torpedoed, which, by the way, it is. They're not going to be able to recover. They're way too many games back, and we're a third of the way through the season. But I'm like, they're going to drop to 6-20. They're down 13 right now, 10 minutes left. They're going to lose this game. The finish to this game was phenomenal. Ja Morant took over the game, and you had back and forth, taking the lead here, there. Lead changes, tie game, lead change, tie game. Both teams going at it in the final couple of minutes. Really, really fun. The Pelicans, the game is tied. They get a wide open shot. CJ McCollum hits nothing but the backboard. Brutal shot from McCollum. I mean, wide open, great look, hits nothing but backboard. And Morant has the ball and he's going to push. And the Grizzlies called timeout. And I was like, and he was pissed that they called timeout. And I don't like calling timeout in that spot either. Eric Spoelstra doesn't usually call timeout in that spot either. You don't want to let their defense get set up. You don't want to let them do any kind of substitution. Just go. But my son actually made a good point to me, which was it looked like Ja was tired. So Taylor Jenkins, coach of the Grizzlies, he knows his team better than us. And that's probably the right play there. Give Ja a minute here to relax and rest, and then let's draw up the final play. And here was the final play. Fantastic finish. He had 34 points. He had 27 in the second half. I believe he had 17 in the fourth quarter. They win it at the buzzer. He's one of, if not the best guards at getting and finishing at the rim in the league, and the Pelicans guarding him one-on-one there. I get it, it's Herb Jones, but still, it could be the best defender in the world. Make someone else shoot the ball. Make him kick it out to anyone else for the game-winning shot, rather than allow maybe the best drive and finish player in the league go one-on-one. He got right at the basket. And Greg Anthony, to his credit, the clip cut off there, but Greg Anthony, to his credit, he mentioned it right away. I don't understand why you don't send a second defender there. So Ja takes advantage. Super dramatic finish in his return. It's not like he was gone somewhere. It's not like he was hurt. As his suspension, that's got to be pointed out, as his suspension was lifted, Ja Morant with an incredibly dramatic return. And, he's yelling toward the crowd. He's got the smile. His dad's right there. He's yelling, I'm back. And, you got the post-game interview on the floor with Stephanie Reddy. I'm a dog, He's super excited. The crowd was super excited. Look, I'm not rooting against Ja Morant. He's a really exciting player. And he used to be really likable. Matter of fact, I'm having trouble I can't think of another player who went from really likable to unlikable in such a short period of time. Because it's not just the thing that he did. It's not just the guns, and it's doing it again so quickly, and it's throwing away your career, and it's saying, putting on that phony interview with Jalen Rose, and Jalen Rose falling for it like a goofball. And then, on top of it, Ja saying the things that he's learned that he's going to stop doing, and then just spits right in your face. He went from a super likable player to just really unlikable. He was in line to be like the face of the NBA. He's a good-looking kid, plays an exciting style of ball, speaks really well, very likable. I'm not rooting against Ja Morant. Just stop with the foolishness and play basketball. And so you give him credit because when he spoke to the media a couple days ago, he even said, he's saying all the right things, but he also said all the right things last time, and he tricked everyone. But he said this time, look, the things I say don't matter. It's about what I do. It's about my actions, or, about what I don't do, I guess. And so, yeah, what he says means nothing. His words mean nothing. His word means nothing. It's about the actions or lack of action when it comes to doing stupid things. So, and I get it. Look, NBA players, you're carrying around a gun. Now, you can't cross state lines with the guns. It's a felony. But you need protection. Hire a bodyguard. When you're with the team, you have team security. When you're not with the team, hire a bodyguard. The same way that when you're out, there's no reason if you're an athlete to get DUI. Hire a driver. There's no reason for you to be driving. You need protection. Hire a bodyguard. I could tell you right now, I'm not going to name who, but there's an athlete who I would hang out with every now and then. And whenever we went out, they had someone with them who, I wouldn't necessarily say it was their bodyguard, but that was essentially his job, where if there was a problem, if there was an issue, if somebody was trying to step to him or whatever, it's that guy, the bodyguard, it's his responsibility to intervene. He's the one who handles that situation. So the athlete, my friend at the time, was not to get involved with anything. You hire these people. There's no reason for Ja Morant to have guns. You hire a bodyguard, and you'll be safe. But I'm not rooting against Ja Morant. You saw last night. He's super exciting. I don't have any respect for him anymore. He went from so likable and so much fun to just the guns and the bullshit nonsense. It's not for me. And then, but like I said, saying the right things. He was awesome last night. Really fun to watch. But then you get this. So after the game ends and he's done the on-court interview with Stephanie Reddy, and now he's running through the alley under the arena to the locker room, off the floor to the locker room. And you got the cameras back there. And the cameras now pick up this. it's stuff like this where you can't trust him. And you can't trust a lot of these guys not to be stupid. Ja Morant is now running through the alleys there, yelling, I kept the receipts. I kept the receipts. Now, so it's two things here. Number one, is Ja Morant saying that he was wrong somehow? That all these people he kept receipts, right? Proof, evidence. He kept these receipts for the people who've been talking bad about him as if he wasn't in the wrong? Did he not deserve to be suspended? Did someone wrong him? Did someone force him to do the things that he did? So, you kept the receipts. Nobody wronged you, Ja. This is all your own foolishness. This is all your own doing. And it's this kind of stuff where it's okay to question, does he understand what happened? Does he actually understand what happened? You kept the receipts, so you don't think you did anything wrong? Now, maybe when he says, I kept the receipts, maybe he's talking about on a basketball level. Like, you had that dopey reporter who told Ja Morant to his face that he's him in Memphis the other day, made up a total straw man case about people out there are saying that other players like Halliburton and the guy in New York, I don't remember his name. I know his name. That's the reporter who did not know who Jalen Brunson was, that they've surpassed you. Like, it's a total straw man because no one is saying that. And does Ja Morant think that people out there are saying that, like, he's not good anymore? That him being away now, he's not going to be the same player? He wasn't hurt. He was suspended. There's nothing physically wrong with him. He should be the guy that we saw last night. He's an amazing player. Ja Morant's out there making up a straw man that he kept receipts about people who have been talking down about his basketball skills, because I haven't heard anyone talk about Ja Morant not being the same player that he was before and talk about Ja Morant's not a great basketball player anymore. Like, that's total straw man bullshit. So if that's what he's talking about, that he kept receipts, that's just made up nonsense. No one has questioned Ja Morant as a player. And if he kept receipts, meaning the people who've been critical of the reason that he's been suspended, the fuck are you doing? Just play basketball, man. Like, you don't get it? You were wrong 1,000 times. You were wrong. You don't need to keep any receipts for people being critical of your foolishness. All in all, though, last night was really cool. That was a fun finish. It's obviously the perfect scenario. If you're doing sports talk, you're talking NBA, you get that story from last night on kind of a slow sports news day. Perfect scenario. Also, other NBA stuff. Celtics lose last night at the Warriors. They shot like 1,000 threes. And this Warrior team is not good. With or without Draymond Green, without him right now, he's getting that magic therapy. He'll be back in a couple weeks. He'll be totally cured. The Celtics, best record in the NBA before last night. They lose at the Warriors. They lose late. They were up big. Warriors come back. Steph Curry had 40 points. Hit a huge shot in overtime. The Celtics, this is why, once again, the Heat are going to beat the Celtics in the playoffs they play. This Celtic team, as talented as they are, they live and die by that three-point basket. They shoot so many threes. Look at this. Last night, the Celtics, as a team, attempted 58 threes. That's terrible. How about this? What about when I tell you Derek White attempted 18 threes? Al Horford attempted 10 threes. Al Horford and Derek White combined to take 18 threes. They were 10 for 18. Great percentage. But 58 threes overall. They were 17 of 58, which is bad. That's 29%. It's way too many threes. And this is why, when it boils down to it, this Celtic team is not tough enough. Taking that bailout three as opposed to driving to the basket, getting to the free throw line. They only attempted 17 free throws. There's an attitude to getting to the free throw line, to getting at the basket, layups, dunks. There's a toughness there. There's an attitude. And the Celtics don't have it, man. And that's why, when we get to the postseason, the Heat are going to take that ass again. Whatever the Heat's record is, doesn't matter. So you had some good stuff last night as far as the NBA goes. Otherwise, in the association, what else did we have last night? You had the Suns. Suns are not that good. The Suns dropped to 14-13 after they lose at the lowly Blazers. No Bradley Beal, who is still out. Really no timetable to return. Durant had 40 they still lost. Durant and Booker, and you look at the rest of that roster, that's a bad roster. That's not a good team. And it shows they're 14-13, and you can't count on Bradley Beal. That Suns team, they are not any good. I'm sorry. And right now, Durant's Phoenix Suns feel pretty similar, to Durant's Brooklyn Nets. Pretty similar. Average team, can't do it by himself, not a great roster. Dudes are always hurt. And there's going to be a time this year where Durant gets hurt and misses time. That's, if history is any kind of an indicator, he's going to get hurt at some point. This is not a good team right now. They do not have depth. That is not a good roster outside of those three guys. And the third guy, Bradley Beal, he never plays. I'll tell you what is good, though. If you're thinking about getting a new home, you want to go look for a home, you don't know where to go, you don't know what area, you want to make sure you're getting the best price out there. If you're looking for your dream home in any part of beautiful South Florida, look no further than your trusted real estate broker, Matthew H. Maschler and Signature Real Estate Finder. That's right, Matthew H. Maschler, Signature Real Estate Finder, one of our great sponsors on my wrestling podcast, It's Still Real to Me. He's the promoter and the chairman for BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. But most importantly, he is your trusted real estate broker. Matthew H. Maschler, 561-208-3334, realestatefinder.com. We're talking over a decade of experience. Matthew specializes in luxury homes. He is a certified luxury home marketing specialist. Any part of South Florida, you're looking for that dream home, Matthew H. Maschler, 561-208-3334. If you're looking to sell your home, maybe you're already in the business and you're ready to take your real estate career to the next level, join the Signature team. The Signature Real Estate companies are South Florida's industry leaders, ranked number 1 in Boca Raton, top 25 in all of Florida, offices all throughout the state. That includes Boca, Delray, Coral Springs, Naples, Miami, Palm Beach, Orlando. The Signature team is where you want to be. So, whether you're buying your new dream home, Matthew H. Maschler, 561-208-3334, selling your current property, realestatefinder.com, or you're just looking to join the best in the business. Matthew H. Maschler, 561-208-3334, realestatefinder.com. Matthew H. Maschler, your pathway to exceptional real estate experiences.